What's going on, guys? This is RNF, Ryan Nintendo Freak, back again with another video. We're in the month right now. This is an exciting month, and plus, yeah, I'm lost for words. This is an exciting month for Sonic fans. Not only that we are in the month of the third movie, but we are also a week away for the biggest event in the Sonic movie franchise. I am super pumped and very excited. So in the past, or like a couple of months, like the previous months, I've been doing a couple of update videos for Sonic the Hedgehog 3, but the one video that I have not done yet, that I have done for the previous two movies, is my predictions, what we could see for Sonic the Hedgehog 3. Like I said, I have not done this kind of video yet, and I wanted to make this video during the beginning of the year, or like a couple of months ago, but Paramount never released the trailer. And what I have done in the past with the previous two Sonic movies, I did it to where I didn't really see the trailer. The trailers weren't even released, and I was making my predictions like blindly of what we could see, because I just kind of thought that would make it a little bit more fun and interesting. So I did that with the previous two movies. So with my first predictions, I got maybe like one or two things right, and then for the most part, or for the majority of that video, I got most of them wrong. And then for the second movie, I did it to where, coming from like watching the first movie and what they did as a cliffhanger, and before the second for the second movie trailer, I did my predictions to like what we could see in the second movie, and for the most part, I did pretty good. I got pretty close, but there were some things where like I didn't get right, and for the most part in that video, I did say that we would see Shadow and Metal Sonic, and I was completely wrong about that as one of my predictions. But we did see Shadow, but it was more as a cliffhanger for this one. So for this movie, I wanted to wait and for the trailer to actually be released, but it makes it a little bit more harder and a little bit difficult to actually do this video, because the only differences that we got for this movie that we didn't get for the previous two movies is we got two trailers. We got the first official trailer, which I did my trailer reaction for, and my mind was just blown away to where I couldn't handle all the excitement that was into that trailer. And then we got a second trailer. Honestly, as much as I did like the second trailer, I just kind of think that the first trailer was a little bit more exciting than the second trailer. The one biggest thing, though, that I do give respect to Paramount is because when they announced that the second trailer was coming, I was sitting here and I was kind of thinking to myself, how are they going to do this without spoiling anything? Because they crammed so much in the first trailer that it would be really hard to actually make a second trailer without spoiling anything. And they did pretty good. I actually respect how good that they did. But anyways, I'm rambling on and on. So anyways, let's jump right into my first prediction. Now, with my first prediction, like this first one to kick this off, it's a little bit odd and a little bit strange that I actually put this as my first prediction. And the only reason why that is because this is my throwaway prediction. Because I don't really think that they're actually going to do this, but I just kind of like wanted to leave it in here as kind of like a thought. I think Tom Wachowski, aka Donut Lord, I think is going to get death or seriously injured in this movie. And why I think this is mostly just because from what the two trailers delivered. So Shadow makes this wormhole thing, and Team Sonic, they use a ring to get out of that situation, and they show up into Tom's living room. So Sonic tells Tom and Maddie in a funny kind of like shtick to where like he goes, "Tom, Maddie, I need your Knuckles, can you turn around really quick? Tom, Maddie, we're in a bad situation and we need your help." So Tom, Maddie, her sister, and her husband, they team up and they're working with guns. And now going back to the first trailer, you see Shadow just breaking out, and you see him flashing back and forth, and he's beating up all the gun members. And then you see a quick glance of Tom Wachowski just laying on the ground, screaming for Sonic, and you see Shadow with the wind-up and his eyes start glowing, and he goes in for the punch. Now, with this punch that Shadow does, that could really mean anything, because I really set that up to where, like, it's meant for Tom Witkowski, but it really means anything, because after that glance, or that quick glance that you see of Shadow winding up and he punches, then that's when you see that wormhole that he creates that you see a little bit more in the second trailer. But also, too, I think with the possible death or injury for James Marsden's character is going to be that good push that could give Sonic that drive of doing what superheroes do. So now let me explain a little bit more about that. And this was kind of the reason why I kind of kept this predictions in this video. Like, for an example, like Peter Parker with Uncle Ben, with Bruce Wayne with his parents. Like, that's like some of the examples that gives them that drive to doing what they do as superheroes. And I think with James Marsden's character, because with the previous two films, they developed Tom Witkowski as, like, in the first movie, they developed him as, like, Sonic's best friend. And then in the second movie, and now with the second movie and the third movie, they develop him even more as not just a friend, but as a father figure to Sonic. So I just think with him as a father figure, I think with the possible injury or death, I think it's going to give Sonic that drive to doing what he does as a superhero that we all love him for or as. So that's my first prediction. Now let's move on to my second prediction. My next prediction is Dr. Eggman and Team Sonic are teaming up in this movie. Now, that's not a prediction, because they really did address that. Like, that's going to be like the main plot in this movie. They showed it in the trailer. And it's not uncommon that Sonic and Dr. Eggman team up, because they have done that in the past with previous cartoon shows. Like in Sonic Prime, they did that. Sonic Boom, they did that. And it's been a lot of time since I've seen Sonic X, but I'm pretty sure that they did that with Sonic and Dr. Eggman, to where they must have had to team up in an episode or two. And also, with the different characteristics with, like, the villain of Dr. Eggman and the hero of Sonic, it just makes it into, like, a hilarious duo. And I just think with them having to team up with each other in this movie, with the comedic timing with Jim Carrey and with Ben Schwartz, I just think it's going to be a hilarious duo in this movie. By the way, I don't know why, but my most famous, or my favorite line that Jim Carrey says in both trailers, it's not in both trailers, but it's in the first trailer. After he says, "If I can rule the world, I might as well save it." He's like changing into his outfit, and he tells Agent Stone, "I need room, but sir, I don't have the proper material. Rip, found some." I don't know why. That is my favorite line that Jim Carrey says in the first trailer, but also too, my other favorite thing as well is when Sonic hands him the quill and he just goes, "Yeah, let's do this." But anyways, so I think he's going to turn and betray Sonic and try to take over the world. So for this prediction, I don't even know when this will actually take place, because at first I was thinking that it would be close towards the end of the movie, to where Dr. Robotnik will actually turn on Team Sonic and betray them and try to take over the world. But from the two trailers, I honestly do think that it will probably be towards the halfway point of the movie, maybe not even towards the ending, because if it's close towards the end of the movie, then they would have to, like, focus on the big climax and everything. So I do honestly think that maybe it will probably be somewhere towards the halfway point, because then it could build up to the final climax. So now, with my third prediction, I was going to make these, like, I'm going to cram two of these in one. When Dr. Eggman turns on Sonic and betrays him and tries to take over the world, somehow down the road within that situation or within that time span or whatever, Sonic and Shadow, I kind of think we're going to get two fights with those two characters. And that's when I think they're going to end up seeing eye to eye, and Sonic is going to see, oh, Shadow's not really a villain. Because from the video games and cartoon shows, when they develop Shadow's backstory and everything, Shadow's not really a villain. He's more of a misunderstood character. So I just think Sonic and Shadow, well, mostly Sonic, they're going to see eye to eye with each other, and Sonic's going to end up, might as well describe it like this instead of my fists. But I think Sonic and Shadow, they're going to go head to head in like 2 different fights. And I think Sonic's going to end up realizing that Shadow's not a villain and he's a misunderstood character. So then that's when they're both going to have to team up with Team Sonic. Oh god, this is a handful. To go up against Dr. Robotnik towards the very end of the movie. But then, in order to do that, I think Dr. Eggman is going to have like something up his sleeve. So he's going to try to take over the world with this big bad villain that he comes up with for the final climax. And that's when these 2 characters right here have to team up and go against the big bad villain that Dr. Robotnik has up his sleeve. So with my 2 predictions I was going to put together in this one prediction is, so the first thing, like I said, these 2 are going to have to team up to work together to going up against Dr. Robotnik and what he has up his sleeve towards the final climax. And the second one that I added to this, because they really spoiled it, this toy company, Jakks Pacific, that has made Sonic toy lines for so many years. And it sucks because that they spoiled it. And I've said this before, that if Sonic and Shadow don't go Super Sonic or Super Shadow, it's going to be a huge missed opportunity. Because fans have been waiting for 2 movies for Shadow to make an appearance and for the Shadow storyline. And now that we finally get that, for him to go Super Shadow and for Sonic to go Super Sonic, this is going to be like a big Super Bowl event that is going to make fans go erupt with excitement in the movie theater. And like I said this would be a hugely missed opportunity. And I've seen leaks of videos that people have done for the toy lines on YouTube. And also, there were some leaked photos that I saw on Instagram that these figures are actually legit. They had like the Sonic the Hedgehog 3 print or whatever on the box art, and we do get Super Sonic. And I was like, why? Why would you do that? Because it would just make it a big surprise if they just left that. Like, that was like the one surprise that I just kind of wanted to like not get spoiled by. They can make this into a bigger climax with the 2 characters going Super Sonic and Super Shadow and them having to work together. So now that just goes into my next prediction is, with the big bad villain that Dr. Robotnik creates, who's going to be the big bad villain if it's not Shadow? So my prediction is, I had one prediction, and then I got to pick up my action figures. So I had one prediction that I had, and then I've seen a couple of other people on YouTube making predictions as well for Sonic the Hedgehog 3. And after when they described it and they said this, I went, okay, that probably might be a little bit better. So at first, I kind of thought, because it almost kind of feels like that they're kind of taking like things or references or whatever from Sonic Adventure 2 and Shadow the Hedgehog, because that's what they said, that they were getting ideas from those 2 games. So I kind of just thought, maybe the big bad villain that Dr. Robotnik is going to have at the end of the movie would be Chaos. Like in Sonic Adventure and also in Sonic Generations, that big liquidy villain or something. I kind of thought about that. And when I was watching other people's predictions, they did say we would want to see Metal Sonic. And I was like, okay, if Metal Sonic shows up as the big bad villain at the final climax, I would get chills. Like, Metal Sonic is already terrifying. I'm getting chills already. Like, I don't know if you guys can see it, but I'm getting goosebumps right now just by thinking about it, because Metal Sonic is a pretty terrifying looking character. And just having him be the big bad villain, like having that open entrance and that big climax at the very end, that would be amazing. And I just think, like, as a Sonic fan, as I am, I think that would be very cool to see. And that's going to go on into my next prediction, and that is, like, the big character, or the big Sonic character that a lot of people have been wanting to see is Amy. People have asked me, are we going to see Amy in this movie? That one's hard to say, mostly just because I think they're going to save Amy for the final parts of the third Sonic movie, like at the very end, to kind of like push the movie and TV shows forward as like a cliffhanger. They're focusing too much on Shadow that I really don't think that Amy's gonna be able to pop up or fit somewhere in Sonic the Hedgehog 3. Maybe. I don't really know. They could find a way to actually fit her in to help out with Team Sonic to go after Shadow, but I just don't really think, with all the stuff that they're going to add into this movie, it's just going to be a little bit harder to fit her in. But they could fit her in, but I just don't know. But I mostly do think that they're going to save her towards the end of the movie for as the big reveal to Easter egg to carry the movie and TV shows forward. So yeah, but that's it, you guys. Those are all my predictions that I have what we could see in Sonic the Hedgehog 3. What are your guys' predictions for Sonic the Hedgehog 3? Comment down below, because I would like to hear your guys' predictions. But yeah, but that's it, you guys. I'll see you guys later. Have a good day. Peace.